Welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to talk to you about some of the reviews that I have seen for Biomutant. I do respect every single review that's been put out for this game and for every game, because at the end of the day that's someone's opinion. So what I'm going to suggest is play the game for yourself, ignore all reviews including mine, watch some gameplay and stuff, see if you like the look of it, and if you do, purchase the game, try it for yourself and make up your own mind. Because someone could come and watch my positive review and think, oh, I don't really like this game. But then someone could go and watch, for an example, SkillUp's negative review and say, oh, I actually really enjoy this game. So it's not that anyone making a review is wrong, it's just that everyone has their own opinion. So I say the game's really good, people can disagree with me, like SkillUp would disagree with me. Whereas SkillUp has said the game's really bad, I totally disagree with SkillUp. I think it's quite good. That's because all reviews are based on opinion, whether it's critic, user, like according to Metacritic, so basically like typical sort of everyday player, and then someone that actually has a job to critique games and to just review them. So not in any way, shape or form am I hating against anyone that's reviewed the game. It's all personal opinion, but I really do feel this game is being basically dragged down and in a way kind of review bombed by all the reviewers saying it's really, really bad, because all the people that are really big on their platforms, all the big influencers, they are giving this game a bad name before it's even released. So that's going to put off thousands and thousands of people that might, if they actually tried it for themselves, enjoy the game. If a game was really that bad, I wouldn't sit there and do a positive review for it. This game's not supposed to be a really big challenge and like totally story driven. It's exploration. It's supposed to be chill. You can tell by the graphics that it's not supposed to be this really tough, realistic sort of challenge. But at the same time, I totally disagree with people that are saying it's far too cartoony. I even had someone comment saying that it was like they feel that Xbox Series X and PS5 are more for mature players, and this game doesn't fit on those consoles because it's a cartoony, childish looking game. I totally disagree. But then at the end of the day, that's someone's opinion. But that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them. I respect the person for playing the game, putting the time and effort into making their review, but that doesn't mean I agree. So the first thing is, for the negative reviewers of this game, they are all talking about the story. Nobody really gives the side quests or the exploration a chance in this game. And this game isn't heavily story driven. There is a story to it, yes. There are main quests as part of a story, yes. But this game will give you way more time, way more playtime, if you explore and if you do side quests and stuff, because this game is about exploration. It's about doing puzzles. And yeah, a lot of reviewers also said that the puzzles are very bland and boring and simple. You can tell how much they haven't explored because there are some puzzles that get quite tricky. They're not all easy, they're not too challenging necessarily, but there are some that will be tougher than just simply turning dials to match 3 colours. Negative reviews are also banging on about the narration being annoying, just because it's used so often, but most of them don't mention that you have a setting in the game to turn it down. You don't have to have the narration as often as the game is set to have by default. And then on my review, people are commenting all the time saying they know the game is trash because the world is bland. They know it's trash because combat is boring, blah blah blah. Those people haven't actually played the game themselves. They're basing it off negative reviews they've seen. Probably SkillUp. He's had the most views from a review that I've seen personally. There is probably people out there that have had more, but SkillUp is the one that I've seen, and definitely the one that's popped up most commonly on my video. But people are saying all this bad stuff about the game. They're basing it off reviews and stuff they've seen. They haven't actually played it themselves. And you can tell there are several areas in this game that have not been explored by people negatively reviewing this game. They will just show you areas of the world that are empty just to back up their claims. So because you don't have enemies within every 50 meters of you walking, they will show them sorts of areas in a couple of quick sort of clips that they've edited together to back up their claims that the game world is empty. If you have this game, or if you can find a video of someone going to a place in the game called Suburbia, or if you have the game go to Suburbia, then try and tell me this game is empty. That place is absolutely packed with enemies. Go to a biohazard zone. There are enemies in every single one. pretty much every single actual different biome, like heat, cold, all that sort of stuff, will have lots of enemies. You're not necessarily supposed to find a million different enemies whilst you're exploring. If they had, like, say for example, you've taken a heat zone and there's 20 enemies in there. Just pure example. You don't want that scattered around the entire game world. Otherwise, there's no point to exploration because you're constantly in combat. And it will drag out the length of playtime for no reason at all. As I said, like, when you're walking every 50 meters and finding enemies, it becomes annoying. Especially when you have exploration to focus on in the game. And that's what happened with The Division 2. Every 50 meters you walk, there's just enemies. It gets annoying, it gets on top of you, it's very, very irritating for a game world, an open world in a game to be absolutely packed with enemies. Sometimes at the start it'll feel alright, but then as you progress you'll be like, I can't be bothered with all this combat, like what's the point? And no, that's not me saying the combat in Biomutant is bad, not at all. I've seen some people saying, oh, there's no point using melee because the ranged weapons are so much better. Regardless of how powerful your ranged or your melee is, there are different ways to build your character in this game. You can build it for melee or for ranged. And yes, sometimes your ranged might feel stronger than your melee, sometimes your melee will feel stronger than your ranged. It depends on your playstyle, how you built your character, and how you play the game. There isn't necessarily one weapon type that's better than the other in terms of ranged or melee. It's just how you personally play. And I can tell you that from over 30 hours of experience with this game. I've done a lot of the crafting stuff. I didn't start until fairly late, but I've done a lot of the crafting. There was one ranged weapon that I typically stuck to sort of thing because I had this like mod sort of thing on there which allowed me to increase my fire rate as I'm firing, and it made the gun very powerful. But then my melee, even just the clonk fist, which you get at the start of the game, even that is powerful. You have a combo to do 2 light attacks and then press Y if you're on Xbox, and you do this thing called Hidden Slam. The fire damage is very powerful, so that shows you that it's not just ranged that has power, because melee has it too. It depends on how you build the weapons through the crafting and stuff, and it depends on how you've built your character. Another area you can go to in the game, I think it's called Shaftiloo or something like that. Go there and then tell me the world is empty. That has like this massive 15-20 character fight going on. Even just explore the game, and I guarantee you'll find enemies fighting, you'll find new quests and stuff to pick up. There isn't actually too much of this game that doesn't have something in it. I just don't understand why reviewers are saying that, because I've played the game myself for a long time, and I can tell you from my experience that it's different. And again, I'm going to say it just to let you know, it doesn't matter if a developer gives me a game key or not, that's not going to sway my opinion on the game. I'm going to be truthful with my experience, my opinion, and how I feel. So what we're going to do is wrap the video up there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.